Welcome to the season finale, the season 2 finale of reality football. We made it to the finish line, fellas. How are you today?
How did we make it to season finale?
I don't know, but put that cup down. It is our last show of the season. It
Mm-hmm.
has been crazy. The, when we started, we didn't know where it was going. We didn't know we'd make it through. And here we are. I'm excited. This is reality football. I am one of your hosts, Keith Porterhouse Porter, alongside my two friends, Michael Skinbo Skinner and the Fish, Brian Fisher. We are 30-year-long plus friends from high school. Wanted to do a football show our way. Not fantasy, just reality. And we hope that you have enjoyed us as much as we have enjoyed your input and your comments. So, Fish, good to see you, man.
You too, brother. Good to see you out there. How about that? Great way to end the season. What a great Super
Yeah.
Bowl game. I know we'll talk about that. Skinner, how you
Well,
doing? Go ahead, Keith.
I was just going to say on that note, I did call it. I did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you and Igor, my dog, picked Tampa Bay between this group. That's right.
Yeah, me and Fish went what should have been the right way. It was the defending champs winning us back-to-back, but that didn't happen. But hey, fellas, nice to see you. We had a week off hiatus with Super Bowl Sunday happening, but the season has completed, and we've got a nice show set up ahead of us here.
We do. And before we get into this show, I just want to personally say these last, I would say, month, I have gone through a lot personally. And I want to thank you two for holding the fort up. I recognize it and I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we love you too, brother.
All right. We got a show. Hey, can you stop putting that glass up in my freaking face? I don't want to look at that.
Well, it's a reminder of the last 2 weeks of your season. This is just a friendly reminder of what happened the last 2 weeks of your season.
Yeah, Skinner's drinking out of a Browns cup if you can't see it right now.
Cheers, brother.
Mm-hmm.
That's dirty. Okay. All right. Cool. That's how we going to do the last show? That's fine.
That is how we roll around here, fellas.
I can play dirty. All right. Well,
Fish, how do they find us? Let's go ahead and start off. How does everybody find us in this crazy world we call reality football?
Thank you. Yeah, before we get into the show, thanks.
And a homeless shelter in a minute.
Yeah. that's what they'll find us personally, or maybe over on not Dan Street. What's the Oriental House, perhaps?
There you go.
Akron,
the Oriental House.
Yeah. So you might be. Well, certainly, if you're watching or listening to us, you're listening or watching somewhere. But you could be listening to us on WMVU.org, internet radio, global internet radio, Mondays from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern. You might be listening to us on podcast. We can be found on most major podcast platforms: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and more. So just look for Reality Football. You may also ask your home assistant device to play the Reality Football podcast, and then you will hear our wonderful, lovely voices right in your home through your home assistant device. We can be found out there on social media. We put videos of the show on our YouTube channel. Just look for Reality Football channel. You can also search by hashtag Reality Football on YouTube. Facebook at Reality Football 1. We have links to information to everywhere. We can be found there, plus copies of our videos or links to our videos there. Instagram, Reality Football _330. Twitter at Reality Football 3 and an L and one L in football, or just look for Reality Football on Twitter. And last but not least, TikTok at Reality Football. You can find us in all those places to keep in touch. But again, the main platforms, listen to us on podcast, watch us on YouTube or Facebook. We appreciate your support. And then, certainly, I know some of us probably going to say anyways, but we started the season out with a good friend, Coach Cooper. Coop had to focus on family matters, and he's okay. I mean, he's healthy, family's okay, and all of that. It's just commitments, and his family's selling his parents' home down the street from me, actually, and he's just got a lot going on right now, so he wasn't able to commit. So hopefully we'll get him back
And he
for
is
something.
he is missed dearly.
Yes, absolutely.
He is. I had a conversation with them earlier in the week, and they are doing well.
Yes.
But he's sure is a busy man. I'd said they, try to get him some kind of schedule to where we can get out at least for dinner with him and the Mrs.
Yeah.
Coop. And
Absolutely.
he's like, well, I think we can get you in maybe in April. So if that tells you how busy he is.
Yeah, that's
So,
about accurate
yeah.
too. Yeah, it's not
It
even a
is
joke.
pretty accurate. So yeah, he's definitely missed, but he knows that we're all thinking of him, and he'll be back on the show here very soon.
And gentlemen, I want to mention here too. So we're gonna get into reality football here and finish this up. But the public has demanded that we continue some form of show in the football off season.
They've cried out.
They've
They've cried
been
out.
crying out. Right. So I think I saw something where the public was in the Capitol or something like that recently asking about. I think it was about us. I'm not sure. I didn't see exactly what happened. But
They stormed Skinner's front porch.
Yes.
Do these people know what they're
Yes.
getting themselves into?
Yes, I think they stormed Skinner's house and they broke the sewer pipe or something. There's a factor there too.
Oh,
But the important thing is we have answered our public.
Yes, absolutely. So if you're watching us, clearly we're three older dudes, and Skinner's about to be 50, and Keith and I are about the same age in our early 50s. Keith and I graduated Kenmore High School in Akron in '87. Skinner graduated in 90. Skinner,
correct.
So we're all Gen X dudes, right? And Cooper is as well. Cooper graduated with us too, so we'll see if he can
Right.
work his way in at some point. But yeah, we thought we would continue the dialogue. We like staying connected, not just because of the pandemic, but certainly we all enjoy staying connected. We like talking random stuff, so even off camera and just as friends. We talk about just what's going on in the world, topical stuff, sports, news, pop culture, music. We have a lot of interest besides football. So in the off season here, we're going to continue to shoot something and put this out there for you. But we did not want to keep it all under reality football because it gets confusing and everything else. So we brainstormed a little bit, including Mike's son, Mike Jr., and we came up with It Came From Gen X. We like, at least I do, like B movies and scary movies and stuff like it. It's not a horror thing. It's just the show is going to be very topical from a generational X perspective. We're just going to have fun. We like making fun of ourselves, like making fun of each other. All that certainly will be a big part of it. So
that won't change.
No, that won't change at all. So we'll put information about the new show and stuff on our reality football pages. We do have a Facebook page right now at all one word. It Came From Gen X, all one word. And we also have an email address already. It Came From Gen X 330, which I had to add. It Came From Gen X was already taken for an email address. You believe that? Somebody had that out there. So it came from Gen X 330 at gmail.com. We'll put that out there. We're gonna have a separate podcast using that name and all of that. So we'll do social media, the whole bit. So we'll communicate that out. So watch our reality football page. Listen to us for information there. But if you like us at all, we're going to keep it going. And we're all going to we're going to figure it out and navigate our way through it. The show will continue to evolve organically and all that. But again, we're just going to keep it topical. What's going on over the past week in sports, news, etc. Give our takes from a busy dad, old dude's point of view and go from there. Go ahead, Keith.
No, I was going to say I'm currently in a relationship right now. Prison romance. And Zelma is looking forward to seeing me in a new show, in a new format, show all of her friends. So, honey, if you're watching this, don't worry, we got a new show coming.
Good.
Tell all the girls on D Block, hey, Porter's back. We got a brand new bag, baby. I'm coming.
Yep.
Leave it to Prison Romance for Keith to have an admirer.
Hey, buddy. During this pandemic, a Prison Romance about the best I could do right now.
Was she that girl, Keith, that reached out to you in social media a long time ago that maybe asked for a bus fare or something like that? If you transfer,
yeah, we remember her.
Yeah, there's a TikTok video about that way back early in the season.
No, that's a different one.
Different one? Okay, that sounds good. So we hope you guys join us for the new show. And actually, I should mention as well that new show will also continue At least we're told, but we're going to play. It will continue on WMVU.org Monday nights, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern. It will continue there. So tune us in there, listen to us on podcasts, watch us, and we'll keep it going. And as long as we're having fun, we're going to keep it going, regardless of the viewers and all of that. So, we hope you join us for the ride.
All right.
Yeah, that was confirmed, by the way, real quick, and I'll let Porter jump in. Our good friend of show and Christophus Dominic definitely confirmed this week that 7 to 8 o'clock Eastern time on Mondays is ours to be had. So
okay, that's great. He's not my friend, but that's great.
Well, it's the only caveat I believe in a contractual. The only thing we had to sign in a contractual obligation was Keith has to still put his old chaps back on that he used to wear as a heavy metal drummer back in the late 80s and the 90s.
Yeah, I have to remind Chris to go to the 11th minute of our show because he will definitely enjoy this part of that show.
Good luck, fellas. Can we talk some football here? Are you guys done? You done having fun?
Hold on, I got to erase that memory of Porter and Chaps because every time you mention it, it takes me back 20 years, and I'm just trying to wipe that away.
My mom says the same thing.
I bet she'd about many topics, I'm sure. Now, I want to finish this Chaps discussion. Now, we got to really...
we are talking to Chris now, aren't we?
Yeah, I'm kidding. All right, so Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Was there a game?
You guys have... Hold on a minute. Hold on. I know you guys were a little perturbed. It wasn't the most exciting thing in the world. But before we get into that, let's give the NFL credit for finishing the season.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
There were moments that we thought this thing was about to go off the rails.
That's true.
And it easily could have. So let's give them a lot of credit for getting the season done.
And we can go even as late as week 16. We thought that something may go off the rails. Right. So they were dealing with that from week 1 all the way through to the end. So kudos to the NFL and all them that kept this train rolling and at the end of the day kept us on the air. So
yeah, sure. Now I'm gonna give you my synopsis, Skinner, real quick. That's only gonna take 30 seconds of the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, what I said in the previous show, that if that Tampa Bay defense is healthy, people do not know how good they are. And Kansas City found out. Secondly, I believe Kansas City was a little bit arrogant walking into that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I think they kind of were smelling themselves a little bit. And number 3, Mahomes just wasn't quite Mahomes with that turf toe.
Yeah.
No, not with the head injury and the turf toe. You had two, or the neck injury, rather. You do both of those together. Yeah. I mean, he wasn't right.
Oh. That's basically what it came down to for me.
I was scrolling social media during the first half, and I know I even had my personal views on the first half, and there were a lot of folks that were complaining about the officiating, and not necessarily in a general. It's just some of the calls that were being made. It seemed to be one-sided there for a while. Whether that's just what the word I'm looking for, whether if that was just a perceived thing because I wanted Kansas City to win versus Tampa Bay, or if it was, but I've had teams that or people talking to me from Tampa Bay that were saying, you know what, this is kind of one-sided, but our defense is just outstanding. And I absolutely agree. That defense was dominant.
Yeah.
And that's why they won the game.
Yeah, I agree with you. To me, that was a story of the game too. The Tampa Bay deep. Now, didn't the Chiefs didn't they have a lineman or two that were out for the game because of COVID? Is that correct? An offensive lineman, is that correct?
I think they had 2 out. One was from COVID.
They
and
had
one was
2
from
of
injury.
Them. Yes, they had 2.
Yeah,
that was another big part of the game.
Yeah, that did not help certainly. But yeah, it felt like every snap I felt like. He was running for his life. Mahomes is running for his life.
Right. You know what? And that's exactly right. So that might be the bigger part of the game than we're mentioning. That might be like the biggest part right there. The fact that the containment was not there, the blocking was not there, and Mahomes could never ever set because we never seen him run so much.
Hmm.
So you take that into consideration, and also we did not mention. I mean, Andy Reid is a tough dude, man. But
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, come on, man. I mean, you got to have a lot on your mind right now. First of
yeah.
Yeah.
all, not the fact that your mind is on your son, but this is also one of your staff members that
Well,
is not there.
what happened, Key? I've heard the highest level story here, but let's remind the fans
Oh,
out there.
okay,
So
for
go
those
ahead,
you don't know,
please.
and I don't know the details, but there was a car accident
Hmm.
involving Andy Reid's son, who was an assistant coach. Um, I think there was one fatality, if I'm not mistaken here. Britt Reed, I believe was his name, and he could not play in the Super Bowl, and he's under investigation right now.
So a 5-year-old girl was seriously injured. That's what
Britt,
I'm seeing here in the headlines here. So I think a family was stalled or something like that on the road, and he may have been drinking. He may not have been drinking. That's under investigation apparently. And
yeah,
he hit a
Plowed into
family
him.
on the side of the road or something
okay,
like that.
yeah,
And
critically injured, no fatality, so that's great.
yeah, yeah. So you're right though, but that's got to weigh on you. That's Thursday before the Super Bowl, right? So
Right,
you're right. That's a huge distraction, and you're like you say, you're losing a coach. At the end of the day, you're losing a coach also.
and
So
So if I'm
you
not
yeah,
mistaken, they were
he's
still
already been
in
fired.
Kansas City. Sorry, I don't mean to cut up. From my understanding, they were still in Kansas City on Thursday when that happened. So yeah, for them to carry that burden all the way down to Tampa Bay, that had to have been tough.
A few days away of making history with your dad, and then it gets snatched away like that. Um, wow, that's a blow. And of course, the most important thing is the people that got hurt in all of this. Um,
yep,
Oh yeah.
that's the big issue right now. But I mean, this is a football show, so we talk football. But we'd be, remiss if we didn't mention the young people that were hurt involved in all this, because that's all that really matters.
hmm
So, uh, it was just everything lined up against Kansas City to just not
yep.
win it, to not repeat.
You're right.
They coasted through the regular season, and I tell you what, man, this is why I don't like teams when they're just bam, 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 doing good. Adversity, iron sharpens iron. You go so long with it being easy. When the real test comes along, you're not sharp. You're not ready.
Hmm.
They weren't ready to pivot with all these things. This is why I think the New England Patriots won so many Super Bowls, because Belichick having those guys ready for everything, because
Hmm.
they've had their own share of adversity. Uh, the year that
Still
they
had some.
Spygate, they won the Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So anyway, right?
Oh, when he's talking about adversity, because Pittsburgh, let's be honest, they had a lot of adversity the last 7, 8 weeks of the season, and they didn't deal with it very well either. So what you're saying is it means a lot, makes a lot of sense. When you're not used to adversity, or when you're coasting like Kansas City did, and then all of a sudden you have some adversity, it's very, very tough to stay at that elite preparation and status. And
Yeah.
it happens to the best, to everybody. It happened to Kansas City. It happened to Pittsburgh.
Hmm.
Let's say they went 11-0 this year, and we kept saying, "When's the bottom going to drop? When's the bottom going to drop out of them?" And unfortunately for Pittsburgh and Pittsburgh fans, it happened. But that just goes to say what you're saying is that if you're not ready for adversity, you're going to have a tough time, and that's what happened with Kansas City.
And this
Yeah.
was a year of adversity like we've never seen before.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's right. And this is where Tom Brady's probably experience and leadership really probably. I mean, I can't imagine that locker room that the everybody that was all amped up or whatever, just to have a guy like that around that's been there
I'm glad you brought that up, Vic.
9 times prior, and the guy didn't have a huge game. I'm looking at the stats here now. Tom Brady was 21 out of 29,
Didn't need
201
to.
yards, 3
Didn't need to.
touchdowns, no
He
turnovers.
he played
There you
flawless
have it.
football
Yep.
because
Hmm.
he did what was necessary. And you make a great point. Having that guy in the locker room changed everything for that organization.
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
so they went into the Super Bowl with everybody in their roster thinking, this dude's been here 10 times. We got this.
Hmm.
The confidence level
Sure.
Just having him won that game for them.
Yeah, then you
Yeah.
see that all the clips of the Bruce Arians and all that, and kudos to him too. I'm sure, I don't know how Belichick approached it, but Bruce Arians on every interview was just like they asked him, "What's it like to have Tom Brady?" He's just like, I, I sometimes I just shut up basically and let the guy coach.
Yeah.
I step back and just let him.
I
He realized he has an asset there, and people listen to
exactly.
him. He's just like, what? Why am I going to step over this dude? And he recognized what he's got there, and just let it happen. And good for him. He's not threatened by any of that.
That's
He
smart
just,
because
yeah,
if I was in a pie eating contest and I had Skinner on my side,
yep,
I would feel so confident.
that's right.
Just sit back, let him do his thing.
As long as it's cherry or blueberry, man. Otherwise, I can't help it.
And think about too for the Buccaneers in that game, Leonard Fournette. Good for him,
Yeah,
man. Guy
he
comes
had a
in.
game.
He had 89 yards rushing,
Good for
5.6 yards a carry.
Fournette.
He had some good running.
They said
And
his career was washed up.
what a pickup. And we've talked about that a couple of times. In the playoffs, Ronald Jones gets hurt right before the playoffs, right? For Tampa Bay, their starting running back, although he had a decent game too
Yeah.
in the Super Bowl. But they pick up Fournette. He understands his role, comes in, picks up some yards when he needs to, and he was definitely a huge factor of them,
How about Jason
making it.
Pierre-Paul?
Absolutely.
Another
Yeah, he
great
was.
free agent pickup.
Mhm.
Was he the guy that blew his fingers off with the
Yeah.
firecracker? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
This guy came in with 2 fingers less and got him a ring.
And still had a couple
He got him a
knockdowns.
ring.
Yeah.
I wonder if the ring they give out those fingers he blew off. that would suck.
Uh,
Hey, I can't wear this.
yeah. Golly.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
You better say something. Hey, can I get mine in a pinky size?
All right. So now a big topic too in the game was the penalties. There was a lot of penalties against Kansas City in the first half, especially. It certainly was I don't know, when we watched the championship games to the Super Bowl, it sure was not officiated the same. And it seemed like to me a lot more. Now again, these are guys they were holding a little bit there, so that stuff was happening out, and especially in the secondary.
It just wasn't consistent.
It wasn't consistent. Yeah. So that was that a huge factor in the game? Was that a
It wouldn't have made a
minor
difference.
factor?
No,
Yeah.
it wouldn't have made a bit of difference.
No.
Well, see, I'm going to disagree with that, Porter, because I remember that last drive at the end of the second quarter when the defensive back tripped and fell.
Right.
And happened to collide with the receiver, that they didn't even hesitate and threw the damn flag. That was not a pass interference. You can't call that at that time, giving him a free 50 yards with 20 seconds to go
I'm
in the
in
game.
total agreement with you, Skinner. What I'm saying is, even without that, I felt that Buccaneer team was too competent and too good defensively and won anyway. But you're right. I do agree that was big. I'm not saying it wasn't big.
Mhm.
I'm just saying it wouldn't have made a difference in the outcome of the game, I don't think.
Yeah, Kansas City kept shooting themselves.
But it was horrible. It was horrible. Yeah. They
had that. Then they have that one penalty. It was like it was on a punt or something, right? Or something stupid. And
it lined up in the
neutral zone. Yeah, line up in the neutral zone.
4th and 5.
Did he get the first down, and then they score a freaking touchdown before the half, and that was kind of it. Once that happened, it was like, it was pretty much. And
Mahomes made 2 of the most amazing throws I've ever seen, and they dropped them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would have been
hit the
the
guy in the helmet
in history.
That one throw, probably one you're referring to, Keith, was when he was hit, and there's a picture of it. His body
was level.
Looked like you laying on the bed right now, probably.
Well, then that would be like this for him.
Yeah,
because of that.
But his legs, you were talking about his legs were completely laid out, and he somehow threw a spiral.
Oh no, how, man!
And it hit the guy in the hands in the end zone, and when he dropped that, Mahomes, you saw his face at that point.
He said, he's like, "What else can I do?"
He's just like, I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, what else can I do?
Yeah,
drop passes were bad.
That's why I thought guys were a little arrogant going in there, because they weren't playing up to the level that Mahomes was playing up to, even with being hurt. he was still playing on an unbelievable level, and nobody was helping him out. Block for the man, catch the ball.
Yep.
So anyway,
Yeah, Kansas. They had what's his face? Kelsey. I mean, Kelsey had a big game receiving. I mean, he was fighting.
He was the only one catching balls. Unfortunately,
Yeah, he was out there. He was fighting and trying to do all he could personally, but yeah, just not enough. Yeah, it all resulted in the Mahomes' mom had to tweet Tom Brady's wife or something weird like that. Did you see that little story?
no, what happened?
It was like she put a tweet out there, which is fine if you're kind of salty or whatever, to say, well, yeah, you had to win by getting the refs in your pocket. But then she tagged in Tom Brady's wife in the tweet rather, and it was just like, so it had a little mini ripple out there.
Now,
on
see,
social
that's
media.
Why would you pull a personal comment in on a wife that's not even part of the game?
It's just whatever.
Well, let's not give a free pass to Mrs. Brady, because she's had her share of running her mouth after Super Bowl games too.
Sure.
But that's funny. That's a fight I'd pay to see.
Yeah. And Antonio, we talked about Antonio Brown. Is he gonna? And Antonio Brown made a touchdown catch.
Yeah, he contributed. Yep.
So that kept him in the house another weekend, perhaps.
I think
Brady's residence.
What does that mean? I think we should do a whole show on what does that mean.
So I got something to bring up. When you're talking about AB, remember it was one of the episodes when they both got traded that same week.
Mm-hmm.
We said, who's got the better scenario, Le'Veon Bell or AB? And I think we all took that Le'Veon Bell was going to have the better outcome from the trade because of where he was at in Kansas City. And lo and behold, look what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they both did pretty doggone good because they ended up in the Super Bowl. So,
right. But he didn't even – I don't even think Bell stepped on the field during the game, did he?
I didn't see him.
I didn't see him at all. That's why I was curious why they didn't utilize him at all, especially with the way things were going.
Yeah.
And when you start seeing Antonio Brown, 1 catch, touchdown, Mike Evans, 5 catches, Bob, when you start seeing that type of distribution, that team's going to be hard to beat.
Mike Evans had 1 catch that whole game.
Yeah, and that's why they won dominantly like that. If you start forcing the ball to your star guys, when you got all them weapons, whoever is the man that is open for that play, that's how you use them, because they will always dominate their position. And that's why when Cleveland had Odell playing and kept trying to force the ball to him, they weren't as effective. Now you start getting out here Ojoku and this guy and that guy. They're a whole different football team. But now Brady has a team where guys are humble with getting 1 catch a game.
Mm-hmm.
And you got weapons everywhere, unstoppable weapons everywhere.
Leading receiver for Tampa Bay, we were kind of talking about, is Gronkowski doing anything? Is he a bust out there? Is he old?
Dominated.
6 receptions, 67 yards, 2 touchdowns. And now Rob Gronkowski and Tom Brady have the most quarterback to receiver touchdown catches in Super Bowl history. They passed up a duo you probably heard of, Montana and Rice.
Who's
That's
that?
pretty esteemed company right there.
That's amazing.
Absolutely is.
How's this make the guy in New England feel right about now?
Oh boy, yeah, there it is, and he's completely lost over there right now at the moment.
Completely lost.
Saw that coming though, even before Brady was gone. We saw that franchise was unraveling. Yep. Unfortunately, them leaving was the icing on the cake.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys. How about a segue into another topic? Because I don't understand why when you got a winner, I don't know why winning always becomes too much. What is wrong that Tom Brady kept winning for you? That it was too much, that you wanted to run him out of town? Why not leave him alone, give him what he wants, and keep on winning? I don't understand that philosophy, because same thing happening in Houston right now with Deshaun Watson. Of course, he hasn't won a Super Bowl, but if you'd have left Brady alone and did what he wanted, you'd probably still be winning in New England right now.
Sure.
One
Probably
year
would.
on Tampa Bay, and he's got another ring. And Deshaun Watson is just dynamic. We've seen him win games practically on his own. And the Houston Texans have had meetings like somebody opened up the meeting and said, "Hey, how can we screw this team up today?"
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's right.
a few months ago, someone said, "Hey, let's get rid of the best wide receiver in the game." Oh, okay. Hey, let's let JJ Watt go.
It's strange, isn't it?
Let's-
Yeah.
Yeah, let's take off our franchise quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand the mentality in that. But there's a lot of egos in football.
There is.
Well,
Fisher, that shirt you're wearing might
Mhm.
represent 2 or 3 more rings right now if it wasn't for egos.
no, you're right about that.
Before we go on to that topic, let's take a break and catch our breath.
I had to get my boy Michael Skinner something to drink here. Hope you like it.
Mm-hmm. You just fill that cup up, fill that Browns cup up, Keith.
Yes, I did.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy, my friend.
You better check that temperature. Check that temperature of that cup, Skinner.
That Kool-Aid tastes good.
All right. Hey, to all of our friends out there, if you like this kind of silly type of humor, well, the boys and I decided to keep it going for the summer with our new show, It Came From GenX. Check us out. We have a Facebook page. We also have some social media addresses that Fish will give you here shortly. But It Came From GenX is something that we thought about as a millennial perspective. We want to have a little bit of humor with you over the summer since there's no football. Some of you guys out there in your 50s, ladies too, and we don't quite think like these millennials. So we're going to have a great show called It Came From Gen X starting 1 week after our football show. Look for us. Go to Reality Football. Check us out. Laugh. And we hope you like it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you can find that. You can find us out there now, everybody. We literally just put the page up yesterday. So we haven't shared it with anybody. But if you look for on Facebook at It Came From Gen X, all one word, you can find our Facebook page. Also watch our Reality Football page for information. If you're already a fan there, you'll get all the info there. And you can also email us right now if you wish. It came from Gen X 330 at gmail.com. All one word. I was trying to find a longer name, but I thought that was probably long enough.
I think you did a good job.
If you think these kids today, if you think like Toto, now that was good music. Toto,
Yeah.
Metallica, Slayer, Atari 2600. These kids are all their finagled, concocted
Pop rock.
PlayStation
And
10s.
Slinkies.
Slinkies, and that was a real toy there. See, it's interactive. It required you patience to get it down the steps. That's what we're all about.
Yeah, that's what we're about.
If you know what a pinball machine is and what it is to use a pencil to play a game, you came from our generation.
If you know why that deaf, dumb, and blind kid play a mean pinball.
Right. That's right. So if you're around our age, you just you're listening to guys talk about stuff from a Gen X perspective. You might like the thing we keep doing, and then or if you're younger and you just listening to your dad and his friends talk, you might like to hear us as well from a elder statesman's perspective. Yeah, go ahead.
On behalf of me and Skinner, we are no shape listening to Fisher inviting young people to listen to us.
Well, I got
we don't have nothing to do with that.
They may enjoy it.
Skinner clan
I'm talking about
check in just to hear us picking on Porter, but
yeah, I'm talking about your our kids' age, 20s, whatever.
I didn't know where you were going with that.
No, nothing, not little kids. We're not for little kids listening to us.
No, that's right.
Our quote unquote little kids are holy crap. I mean, your little kid Keith is in his 20s, and my daughter's going to be 21 this year, and Skinner's got at least one child in their 40s, I think.
What the heck?
Something like that. I'm not
All right.
sure.
Well,
Mikey and the twins are 27.
There you go.
speaking of one child, I want to
Mm-hmm.
give a quick shout out to Mikey Jr.
Yes.
Skinner's oldest boy, who has been a godsend since he's came aboard on the show, more in the production capacity, but he's also been there with some great ideas. And man, just want to say thank you for all the hard work that you've done, man. Just really been awesome having you. So
Absolutely.
that
His help with the brainstorming has really made a difference, I tell you.
it's us. Our kids have been involved these last two seasons. Uh,
Yep.
Holding
And
us
it's
up.
been all of them, yeah.
Yeah, the second
Most
show we
recently,
did before you guys came on was out at my son's uh,
college.
fraternity house out
Yeah.
in Mount Union. And of course, Remy Cooper last year produced the show all of last year, and so good to have Mikey Jr. and Peyton involved this year. So that's awesome.
I was just going to shout out Peyton, Brian's beautiful daughter. She's doing the digital media for us, and especially for the new show coming up.
And that's phenomenal.
And, it's been phenomenal what we've seen so far, and looking forward to more good things to come from her. Okay. So Peyton, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
While we talking to Fish, dude, what's going on with your football team, man?
Man, so one of the weird stories this past week was
bizarre.
Yeah. So first of all, I think it was the day after the Super Bowl. I think the Dallas Cowboys put out this hype video for next season. So first of all, there was pretty much zero to get excited about this past season, especially after poor Dak Prescott broke his ankle. I mean, geez, But even prior to that, their defense couldn't hold. I mean, their defense was like a cauldron holding water. They couldn't do anything.
Right.
So they put this video out there, and people were like, "Hey, you know what? Who's missing from this video? Our starting quarterback seems to be missing from this hype video." And they're like, "Well, what's going on with that?" And the Cowboys' official statement was something like, "Oh, this is an oversight." It's like, really? You got to believe it. So it passed whatever editing procedures in there, and don't tell me it didn't go past Jerry Jones.
Exactly.
Right, Keith?
Right. Yeah. And so here's the thing: you only get one of two choices here. Your your quality control is
completely
horrible.
Broke down. Right.
Yeah. It's horrible. Or you're lying.
Yeah.
You did that on purpose. It's one
even with all of Jerry Jones' silliness, there was somebody there to proofread and all his silliness that he's done over the years.
Yeah.
Hey,
how the heck did they leave Prescott out of the hype video?
I'll give you one better. Let's go where the money is. Why? That's like the Cleveland Cavaliers making a promo and LeBron's not in it. That's your money. That's your star.
Mm-hmm.
You are really gambling on making a statement to piss him off, and I don't understand it. I don't understand the antagonism.
Watch him go to Philly and light it up.
Something's gonna happen.
It's just strange. It's just like, I mean, I appreciate the fact that guys, you don't know what you're going to get as far as the ankle injury, right? Mm-hmm. Which anyway, I don't want to go into it. It may not even happen if you're protecting the man out there. But anyhow, I just don't get it. You seem to be like you say, you seem to be gambling on the fact of, are you trying to send a message to him that we can continue on without you? You better sign this contract extension. Now he's probably more inclined to say like, nah, anything I might have been remotely considering, there's no chance at all that I'm not going to continue to ask for what I've already asked for, a 5-year contract valued at whatever. And you know what? Maybe I ask for even more now because you guys are being a bunch of idiots. And clearly the Cowboys saw what happens if they don't have him around. It's they can't do anything offensively.
I'm very disappointed in Jerry and Stephen Jones on this. Very disappointed. It's Bush League. That's what it is. It's total Bush League.
It smells. You know what? It smells like Jerry Jones fingerprints or something like that. Which I don't know. I don't want to smell. Frankly,
I don't know how you know what those smell like, but I don't want to know.
Ever since his ego, yeah, we talked about this prior, but ever since his ego ran the best thing about that organization since Tom Landry and Jimmy Johnson, ever since he ran him out of town, they have not even got sniffed the NFC Championship game, let alone the Super Bowl. So stop what you're doing, change your approach immediately. You are continuing to keep this franchise at a laughable state. It's ridiculous.
Get a real general manager and a real coach.
And a real defense. Let's not forget about that god-awful defense down there.
Now, having said that, now the Cowboys next year, I think Super Bowl champions next year, with or without Dak. I'm joking. I'm kidding, of course. No.
You couldn't say that with a straight face.
No. It's ridiculous. You know what? I honestly, that type of stuff, I've been a fan since I was a child with Cooper. Cooper got me into these guys in fourth grade in the late 70s, early 80s, right? That type of crap, honestly, it really wears on you, and it makes you wonder, why do I continue to root for that team? I'm not even kidding around.
I know. I get it. It's that type of stuff that when people ask me why am I a Steelers fan, it's stuff like that I don't ever have to deal with. Is reason why. I love the Steeler management came out and just said, hey, Roethlisberger's been here way too long to not deserve to go out his way.
Right.
But at the same time, they were very upfront and honest. We will not be able to compete at the salary that you are getting right now. And that was just being honest. No playing games. No, saying stuff. But this is silliness, man. You have had some of the best talent in the world come through Dallas.
Yep.
And you spend more money than most third world countries. That is ridiculous. There's no excuse for it.
Well, the other team in Texas we talked about, Keith, Houston. Houston in general, the state of Houston, and their professional franchise.
What is wrong with that whole state, man? They're bleeding athletes. They're bleeding superstars.
And it's not just the state of Texas. It's the city of Houston.
Right.
Yes. You talk about the football. You've got J.J. Watt today got let go after 10 years of service, and what he meant to that team in that local area. Then you got the rumors about Watson. Is he going to stay in Houston? Is he going to go away? And then James Harden on the basketball side in the NBA. He's been with Houston for his entire career. I think he's going on 10 years now.
That's a lot of star power.
Not entire career, but long enough.
And then don't forget DeAndre Hopkins at the beginning of the year.
I even go back to football. I forgot about Hopkins last year.
That is a lot of star power leaving one city.
The baseball side, they've got a couple of guys from their core team from when they started rebuilding and winning World Series. They're gone. So that whole city is just going crazy right now. That sports fan base, I feel for them because that's something that you see in Cleveland. Wow. That's something you see in other cities. You don't see them in Houston.
Right. Skinner, where do you see J.J. Watt going?
I've done a lot of watching and a lot of things I've seen here and there, both locally and nationally. I don't think Pittsburgh's is going to have enough to sign him. I think he's going to end up in the AFC North. And it is between two teams, and it's going to be, I think, Pittsburgh and Cleveland. But I'm not sure they're going to have the dollars for him in Pittsburgh.
Do you think he would sign for less to play with his brother and play for Pittsburgh? Why not?
Well, see, this is real interesting. I wonder where you guys are going to go with this, and I'm shocked that you even mentioned Pittsburgh because I've been watching too, and every expert that I've saw on TV, they've mentioned Green Bay. They've been, going home to Green Bay.
It's a good fit for them.
Yeah, they've mentioned possibly Chicago. They've mentioned who else was that?
I saw Dallas as a consideration, perhaps.
I didn't see that one,
Yep.
But no. But
I did.
anyway,
No kidding. Yeah.
I was they mentioned all these teams, and I said Mary Beth, this guy's going to Pittsburgh because I just think he just wants the opportunity to do something never before done. Let's play with both of his brothers. Um, he's 10 years in the league. Of course, he doesn't have a ring, and he would have an opportunity to get one in Pittsburgh. But I kind of agree with what Skinner said. I don't see them having the means to do it unless he was real reasonable. He's not going to get the $17 million that he's been getting in Houston, that's for sure. But he knows that.
Mm-hmm.
So interesting. But I called the guy going to Pittsburgh in the middle of the season last year. I don't know. I just see it. I have no means.
He clearly doesn't think that Houston is anywhere near competing for a championship. His better years are probably getting past him. Yeah, he wants to compete.
Without question.
That's where he's at.
And
so he'll sign somewhere he has a chance. Go ahead.
AFC North is where he's going to end up because he's got a chance in Cleveland. He's got a chance in Pittsburgh.
Or hear me out.
Not sure how strong that chance is in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
They've got an offseason. We talked about this quite a bit in previous shows, where Pittsburgh's plan is, what their short-term plan is going to be especially over this next offseason. But I guess that's really going to dictate what Pittsburgh does in the offseason to get better, to not be a one-and-done team in the playoffs is what's going to dictate where he goes.
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody says otherwise, they'd be foolish, truthfully.
That makes a lot of sense.
He's a coach who, for years prior, studied coaching in a warehouse and has made his way back into the league and knows clearly how to relate to today's players. Mike McCarthy of the Dallas Cowboys.
I knew that's where you were going.
Oh, wow. I thought there was an epiphany coming, but
I'm
no,
kidding.
that didn't happen.
No. I mean, Dallas, listen, as a fan, I would take him in there. There's no way he's going to Dallas.
Okay. Well, let's segue into the Pittsburgh Steelers. Just another note.
Excuse me.
Marquise and Mike Pouncey, twins, came into the league together.
Yep.
Both centers.
Pretty amazing.
Of course, Mike played at Miami for several years, and recently he was traded to the Dolphins. Of course, Marquise has spent his entire career in Pittsburgh, one of the best to ever do it. I think I can't remember, like 6-time Pro Bowler, I believe. And it's going to see, sad to see those guys go. But the Steelers' offensive line, they already had no running game, and now they just lost the key staple of that offensive line. So they got a lot of rebuilding to do.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of rebuilding to do.
All right, so all things considered, do you have any way too early prediction for next season's champion? Any thoughts there, or is it way too? But I don't care. I already asked the question. Way too early prediction for next season. Who is your Super Bowl prediction sitting here right now in 2021-22?
That is such a tough question with so much parity in the NFL right now.
Literally impossible to watch.
Yeah.
We have free agency that hasn't happened yet. We have the draft that hasn't happened yet. I mean, all these things, players getting cut, quitting, retiring, coming back.
Getting healthy, getting hurt. Yeah.
We don't know what's going to happen. Right now, we know that whether you're in the AFC or the NFC, it takes major firepower to get to the championship game. So you're going to have to be able to bring it. None of this, I've got a great running game stuff, or we can pass the defense. You better have firepower because you got Tampa Bay on one side and Kansas City on the other. So I think teams are going to start structuring their football teams a little differently come draft. Speed, firepower, up and down the roster. And we'll have a better look then. It's just too early to tell right now.
Green Bay, Tampa Bay, and San Francisco on the NFC side. Cleveland, Buffalo, and toss up probably Kansas City. I think those 6 teams we're going to be talking about a lot next year.
Yeah, but don't forget, what if Seattle gets their defense fixed up?
I just have no faith in that team getting things turned around, especially with the rumors with Russell Wilson not happy now. I'm not sure if the
Right.
defense gets fixed. Yeah, they're going to be in the conversation.
And we got to watch this experiment with LA now. The trade they made.
I think LA's bit themselves in the foot, but we'll see.
Well, they
I don't know.
could have, listen. I thought it was a dumb trade, but they could have done worse. I mean, Matthew Stafford can't swing it.
Yeah, but will he? That's the question. He can, but will he?
Yeah, I'm sure. Why not? As long as he does stay hurt,
What do you think, Fish?
I'm going with Kansas City. I think that there's nothing that's I think as long as Mahomes stays healthy, the toe surgery happened. I think it was today. Went well or yesterday.
Yeah,
the turf toe. So I think, as all things considered, there's no reason to think that they won't remain the class of the AFC. And assuming Aaron Rodgers stays in Green Bay, I gotta think that they find a way to get over the hump. Green Bay, Kansas City, 2022, which is crazy to say that.
Right.
There you have it, Super Bowl 56. There you go. And they'll bring out a Super Bowl halftime act that will not offend any human being in any age of any group. I don't know who that might be sitting here right now.
Good luck with that.
Yeah,
I don't care who you bring out. Somebody's not gonna like it.
They'll figure out a way to do that. Yep, they'll wheel out the Rolling Stones or somebody like that, perhaps. But there you have it.
Okay,
Yep.
Hey guys, a couple of side tidbits today.
Go ahead.
Urban Meyer, very, very auspicious signing today. Chris Long, the fired coach. A lot of racial implications and some of the things that he was doing. This guy's been in battle and out of the league for a minute, and this is the first hiring that Urban Meyer makes down in Florida. Got people's eyebrows raised up. I don't understand it, but this might be one of the first times we see a owner override a head coach on a hiring.
Did that happen, or that we're seeing if that's going to happen? Is that what you're saying?
There's been talk about it happening.
Okay.
You got to get guys to play for you, man. And nobody wants this guy around.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like a maybe tone deaf decision on Urban Meyer.
Yeah, he's done some crazy stuff lately. But I don't understand this one right here, man. I mean, the thing about players is you want them to get them to come there. You want them to get them to come play for you. Well, what's the point?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Strange. I guess we'll see what happens.
It was a strange hiring.
What's our time, Skinner? What are we getting? Where are we at here? Are we doing all right?
Yeah, we're doing okay. We got a few minutes left.
Okay.
What else you got on the agenda there besides Urban Meyer?
Well, we talked about football stadiums lending out their stadiums.
Yes,
we did. We did talk about that off the air. The NFL has proposed to the CDC and federal government that they will allow their stadiums across the country to be opened up for a gathering place for inoculations for the coronavirus. Well, some people are going to say that is fantastic. What a great story. Then there's others, including yourself, that had the vision of something they saw in the movies, that it's not a very good sign, not a very good sight. Kind of gives you the.
I said Chris Long. I meant Chris Doyle earlier. So
yes,
just want to make sure we're clear. All right, go ahead, buddy.
But yeah, you've got that vision of all of these people going into this gloomiest place, and you picture black clouds in the sky, and it's raining.
And herded into camp like Auschwitz or something like that. I don't want to make a reference to something
kind
terrible.
of along It Came From GenX movies that were so right. Near and dear to our hearts. But on the other hand, it is a great story. I think it's something that it's an olive branch from the NFL out there to the common people, the non-football fans, to show that they're in this with everybody else.
Yeah, because of the logistic. My girlfriend, as you guys know, my lovely Allie works for the local health department, and they're doing vaccinations there. So even in a small local community, to try to provide vaccinations is already it's logistically difficult. These are people that you're taking up other business parking. You can't get in and out easily. You have long lines, and it's very difficult. So the fact I mean I like it, and I say you don't like it, and it's not what you're saying, but logistically it does help if
Mhm.
people can. I don't know how they'll
Sure,
manage it if
I
you're going to make
understand.
people
It's
park and
it's like
walk
going
in
to
and get it done.
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, very similar to like a lunch break at Chick-fil-A. It's like
Yeah,
yeah,
took
exactly.
me
It's
20
yeah,
minutes just today, but I get it. I
yeah,
get it. Okay.
right. So at least it's something. At least it's another option that local areas have to get people in, get that done, and hopefully, again, whether you believe it or don't believe it, whatever, we don't really care, honestly. But if you want to get a vaccination, it should be as easy as possible for people to get one. And if that helps somehow, some way, that people are driving state lines to go find them and get them because it's so logistically crazy
Right.
right now. So if they can help them with their plan in the federal government, hopefully it's at least a assistance to get us all back to back to quote unquote normal if that exists anymore. But
I got you.
yeah.
I got you.
Well, we'll be coming
So,
up on our second draft
Hmm.
under COVID years, if you want to put it like that. Uh, and maybe we'll do a little something for that or not. We'll see how it's going.
Yeah,
Because we'll be busy with our new show as well.
we could talk about it there too, Keith. I mean,
Yeah,
we'll have sports as part of the new show
that is
too, so
true.
we'll
That
keep
is
that
true.
going.
That's part of the segment.
Yep.
Uh,
We had
one of
Trevor
the
Lawrence
topics.
today doing the virtual. It's a weird thing to say, and it's a virtual pro day, or not pro day, but a virtual workout or something he did today. Is
No,
that
no, no, no,
correct?
no, no, no,
What
no,
was it?
no. He was doing a virtual shampoo commercial,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Now, is there any question at all that you will not see? You had uh, I'm going to forget his name right now, Keith. The guy with the long hair that does the Head and Shoulders commercials now. He used to play for the safety.
Palomalu.
I'm
Palomalu.
out.
Is there any doubt in your mind you're not going to see Trevor Lawrence doing like a Burt
No doubt
commercial or
at
something like
all.
that? Yeah,
No doubt at all. Probably
yeah.
already made them.
You're probably right.
Yeah,
They're queued up, ready to roll.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
He's
you.
not doing it. He's not going to do a shaving cream commercial,
No,
probably.
no, no. He ain't grown up
But
yet.
certainly something with the hair for sure. Yeah.
Well,
Uh,
it's a good segue into we're about ready to wrap this all up. You will hear us talk about Trevor Lawrence and his commercial making ability
Uh-huh.
on our new show
Yep.
starting right after this season 2 finale
Mm-hmm.
of reality football with us, yours truly, Skinbone with Fish and Porterhouse, and at some point, Coach Cooper. Can you let us know one more time, Fish, how or where we're going to be here in the near future and where to look for us?
Yes, absolutely. So the new show is, again, It Came From Gen X. Again, like a B movie thing we're going with. You can find us on Facebook at It Came From Gen X, all one word, or you can email us at itcamefromgenx330@gmail.com. You can find all the information for the new show on Reality Football, which is not disappearing. All the social
No.
media and everything for Reality Football will remain. So you can find our Reality Football page again at Reality Football 1 on Facebook. Look for us on YouTube, Reality Football. Look for our hashtag Reality Football 1 on Facebook or YouTube. Instagram, Reality Football _330. Twitter, look for our Reality Football page or at Reality Football 1L3. TikTok at Reality Football. All those areas will continue to update you on the new show. It Came From Gen X. Again, it's just like this, us talking, thinking ourselves are interesting and funny. Hopefully you do as well. We'll talk about all kinds of things topical beyond football, news, sports, music, whatever else we want to talk about from a Gen X friend and busy dad perspective.
I do want to let the football fans know that we will continue to put content out there throughout the off season. When specific times come about, probably during free agency signings. The combine will probably have a little something. If it's not a full show, at least we'll do something maybe out there in the social medias. And with the new show, we will have the TikToks, I'm assuming, and the Instagrams and Twitters and all that. So
we'll
stay tuned
posted.
for all that information. Fellas, it's been one heck of a ride this season. I would want not to do this with anybody else but you fellas.
Absolutely.
We knew
maybe Trevor Lawrence. Maybe Trevor Lawrence as well.
We knew going into the season, we didn't know if we would be here today signing off, completing a complete season. And I'm very thankful that we have had this time with each other, talking about what we all love, which is football.
I can't believe when we do this again, we'll be talking about season 3. Who'd have thought?
Yeah. Season 3 coming soon to a
which we would do entirely with our shirts off.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
We better keep hitting the gym before we get to the
right.
Yeah.
All right, fellas, it's been fun. I
appreciate
your fellowship, and to all you fans out there, have a great NFL offseason, and we will see you in September. Come check us out.
Gen X.
At It Came From GenX.
Gen X.
Later, folks.
Yep.
Take care.
Hey, everybody. Over the last couple of years on reality football, people have grown to like us kind of ripping on each other. Some of it personal, some of it public, and some of it you really don't even want to see. But we got a new show focusing on just that. It's called It Came From GenX.
We'll be talking about many subjects: music, sports, entertainment, pop culture, news, national and public.
Also how to flavor perhaps ramen noodles. So check us out. Listen to fun topics from a Gen X perspective. Look for us out there on our Facebook page at It Came From GenX, all one word. It Came From GenX. Check us out.